Welcome back to another episode of Am I the A-Hole? Today's story comes from Engadine Makis, 1997. Am I the a-hole for how I reacted to my wife's complaints about my work hours? My wife and I have a 1-year-old. She has been the stay-at-home parent while I have worked full-time for the entirety of us having a kid. For the past several years, I've worked a job with long hours and a long commute. Most days, I wouldn't get home until around 7:30 or 8 o'clock at night, often just before our 1-year-old went to bed. My wife regularly told me that I was working too much and that she was carrying most of the parenting responsibilities during the week. Honestly, she wasn't wrong. I know how exhausting that is. I always tried to make up for it on the weekends by being as involved as possible, but during the work week, she was doing the majority of the parenting. Recently, I accepted a new job that's much closer to home. One of my biggest reasons for making the change was so I could spend more time with my family, help my wife more, and stop missing so many important moments while our child is still so young. On my very first day at the new job, my wife texted me that morning with a long message telling me not to get to work too early, that I needed to set better boundaries, and that I had left the house too early, even though I had actually left more than an hour and a half later than I used to. I replied that I would really appreciate not starting my first day with that kind of energy. Later that day, she suggested we go out for dinner to celebrate my first day at the new job, and I thought that sounded really nice. I got home more than an hour and a half earlier than I normally would have at my old job, but instead of celebrating, I got chewed out for working late and for not listening to her about setting boundaries. My point was simple. Even if I'm not as hands-on with parenting during the week as she is, working to provide for our family is still an important contribution. I felt like she could have been happy that I was home 3 hours earlier than I would have been at my old job, instead of focusing on the fact that I wasn't home even earlier. The argument escalated while we were getting ready to leave for dinner. I ended up canceling dinner because I honestly didn't have the energy or patience to keep arguing that night. Instead, I put our 1-year-old to bed, and after that, my wife and I barely spoke for the rest of the evening. So now I'm wondering, was I too harsh in how I reacted? Was she being unreasonable? Do I owe her an apology? Does she owe me one? Or am I the asshole here? Update: after reading everyone's feedback, my wife and I talked after work the next day. She apologized without me asking her to. She explained that her text that morning wasn't meant to come across the way it did. She said it would have been better to have that conversation in person instead of over text, and she also apologized for immediately complaining when I got home. I told her I understood that a lot of her frustration came from the anxiety and loneliness of being home alone with our child. I know that taking care of a 1-year-old all day can be exhausting, busy, and isolating. I also told her that I would make a real effort to set healthy boundaries at work and continue making my family the priority. Reading the different perspectives here really helped me approach the conversation in a better way. So thank you to everyone who took the time to respond. Okay, so going back to the OP's original question, am I the a-hole for how I reacted to my wife's complaints about my work hours? Personally, not the a-hole. I get it, childcare expenses are ridiculous nowadays. So financially, it probably makes more sense for you to work full-time while your wife stays home. And because you're the only one with an income, you have to work more to make ends meet. Then on the flip side, she probably has no one to talk to except your 1-year-old, so then her only outlet for adult interaction is with you. I hope that you two continue to have open conversations to ensure that everyone's needs are being met and raising your family is equitable. So listeners, what do you guys think? Was the OP an a-hole or not? Leave your thoughts in the comments. See you guys next time.